Alright, so guys, let's begin. We'll start with our day 2 of Core Java. So, people who missed day 1, and in case you have joined today, and this is your first class, you might not have 100% clarity on what we have done earlier. And today's class also, it will become a little confusing for you. So, such cases where people have missed my previous lecture on Java and syllabus classes you have missed, you have to take the previous recordings by calling this number. You will call them and ask for the previous core Java class at least. So core Java class you can continue, and then you can finish syllabus discussion classes taken for 5 days. Now today's lecture, and some students were asking me how to prepare notes. Should we prepare notes? See, notes are already given. Yesterday the link was given. If you just search here, okay, this 10th June link. Now here notes is already present, which I have prepared it. But the point is, the notes that you see here now, if you need to just see the same notes and rewrite again. Handwritten notes you have to prepare based on this. Why we are doing this is because that will give you more confidence in terms of Java syntaxes. When you write Java programs, syntax clarity will build and also confidence will be high. Is this clear? So let's scroll down. Now today's lecture we are going to look at non-static variable, instance variable, or object variable. What do you mean by that? Okay, so we are going to understand now what do you mean by non-static variable, instance variable, object variable, and what do you mean by static variables or class variables. We'll understand the difference between them. What we will understand? We'll understand what is instance variable, which is also called as non-static variable, instance variable, which is also called as non-static variable, also object variable, versus you will understand what you mean by static variable and class variable. What do you mean by static variable and what do you mean by class variable? We'll understand this topic today. Fine. So let's start our discussion now. What these variables are all about and why we should learn this now. So firstly, when I now create a class, should I write class keyword uppercase or lowercase? Lowercase. I am opening and closing the curly braces. Now in this case, when I am now writing here class A, opening and closing curly braces, this should have a main method. Do you agree with that? Without a main method, I cannot run my Java program. So I will write here public static void main. Public static void main. Now whenever you are creating a non-static variable, understand very clearly, whenever you are creating a non-static variable, you have to create that outside method inside class. You cannot create inside method. A non-static variable is created outside method inside class. Understand the position. It is created outside method inside class. This is also outside method inside class. So I can create here or here. But usually variables are created in the very beginning. But never create a non-static variable inside a method. Okay. So if I'm creating a non-static variable, I'll write int x is equal to 10 and I'll not use any static keyword on this. I will not use any static keyword on this. Are you understanding now? But where is it created? Is it inside method? Error. This is not non-static then. This is a different variable. Don't do this. It will work. You should not create it. They are local variables. I'll speak about that later. You have to create outside method inside class. correct? This is also outside method inside class, correct? Usually we create in the beginning. Same way, when you're creating static variable, you will create that outside method inside class. But you will use one extra keyword on the variable static. I can create here, but not here. So when you're creating a static variable, keep that in mind. It has to be outside method inside class. So static int y is equal to 20. Now this variable is created outside method inside class, correct? I create here, correct? If I create here, wrong. Understand the position first. Where to create these variables, I have started my discussion with that. You can create these variables inside class anywhere, but it has to be outside method, inside method, wrong. Sir, why we should create static, non-static? That's my next question. Why we should do this? What's the reason behind it? Now, whenever you create an object in Java, yesterday I discussed about objects. Whenever an object is created in Java, this line is creating object, and that object's address is stored inside A1. Whenever we are creating an object in Java, inside that object, only non-static member copy is loaded. Among these two variables, the one which is non-static, only that will get loaded inside the object. So the purpose of making something non-static, the purpose of making something non-static is to ensure that people, okay, are wanting that member to be a part of object. If you want anything to belong to object, our Java program says make that non-static. When you make anything non-static, we are telling our Java program all these non-static belongs to the object. Is this clear, everyone? Now tell me, what is non-static? In one line, what is non-static? What is non-static? Non-static members, they belong to object. But then what happens to static? So your every class will have its own dedicated memory, which I will call that for now as one common memory for our understanding. I'll talk about memory management in detailed manner later. So we have a common memory. So this static member cannot go to object. It cannot go to object. But this static member belongs to class, and automatically it will get loaded to class memory. So now one point is clear. When I make anything static, it belongs to class, and when I make anything non-static, it belongs to object. Let's take one more example, and then we will learn this in more detailed manner. Let's type here class A. Right? Now this class has a main method, public static void main. I'm writing in shortcut. Now I will write here int x is equal to 10, int x is equal to 10, int y is equal to 20, static int z is equal to 100. Fine. So the next thing, let me create one object. Let me create one object. A1 is equal to new A. What this line will do? Create one object. And where is that object's address present in? A1. Now when an object is created, will static get loaded to object? No, it cannot go. But what happens to non-static is, when you create an object, the non-static members are loaded to the object. The non-static members are loaded to the object. Are you understanding, everyone? But then static cannot go to object. So static belongs to your class, and that's called as a common memory. That's called as a common memory. So this static member is now loaded to your class common memory. Did you understand now? Everybody got it till here? Yes, online students, are you all clear till here? What I talked about static and non-static? Anyone has any doubts on these topics, right away you can ask me. Offline students all clear? Okay. Now, anything that belongs to object, anything that belongs to object, how to access? Use the object's address. Use the object's address. When I write A1, it will locate the object. And then when I write dot, it means you're entering the object. You're entering the object. And now when I write here X, then it means go to that object's location using A1, go to the object location, dot, enter the object, and in that object now access the content, which is this. It's like, okay, syntax, if you understand this way, it's like A1 knows the location of object as per my yesterday's discussion. We are using that object's address and we locate the object, dot, enter the object and give me its content. Right? Now, again, if I write here A1 dot Y, can you please tell me what does it mean? What does A1 mean? Locate the object, because A1 has the address of object, dot, enter the object, and in that you give me variable Y. But in order to access the members of your class, they do not belong to object, they belong to class. So write a class name to go to the class common memory, dot, enter the common memory and give me Z. See the syntax, how we are accessing. Why am I using class name here? Because that belongs to class. Okay, so let's try to now understand these topics in more depth manner and more clearly. That is what I will be doing it now. Fine, we'll understand in more depth manner and we'll do this more clearly. Is this clear? So let's do this now. So firstly, without creating object, we cannot access non-static variable. I'll keep taking this example one by one. You will practice this example online editor as of now. As of now, use online editor. Yesterday that we used, but I am using an IDE. We will use this later. I will make you people install these things. So don't worry about that. We are focusing on program, not the IDE. Not the IDE. So let's right click, go to new. Let's create a class. I will take all these shortcuts, everything, and I'll teach you. Don't worry about that. Our job is to understand the program and not the IDEs I'm using it for now. Okay. So let me create int x is equal to 10. What kind of variable? Non-static. Sir, how did you know it is non-static? Sir, position of the variable. What do you mean by position? Any variable inside class, outside method without static keyword becomes instance, means object. Instance is another name given for object. Beginners who are from BCom background, BA background, they have never done any programming entire their life. Instance is another name for object. Now see, am I creating object? In my program, am I creating object? Is object created? No. How did you know it is no? Sir, analyze the program and tell me why are you telling object is not created? Because there is no new keyword. Without new keyword, I cannot send a request to class. Class will not create object. Without object creation, when you're accessing X, what do you see here? You see, it says cannot make a static reference to non-static field X. So it's actually telling this non-static field X, you cannot access without creating an object. An object created, this will go to the object and now access that object content this way. Is this clear? Everyone analyze this code. Everyone clear with this part? Yes. Okay. So now read this line. Without creating object, we cannot access non-static members. Correct? It belongs to object, right? Why will you write capital A? Does it belong to class? What will happen if I use capital A? I said this very clearly. Correct. I said this very clearly, Shubham. Anything that belongs to object, create object, then access. It does not belong to class. Don't access with class name. Error. Okay. Let's continue. Now, what if there are two variables? Int x, and I have a variable int y is equal to 20. Now, when an object is created, how many variables are loaded in that? Two variables are loaded. So these two variables now I will access a1 dot y, a1 dot x, and now a1 dot y. Run as Java application. So we have here now what? X, and then we have here what? Y. We have x and then we have what? Y. Is this part clear, everyone? Everyone able to understand this program? Yes. Online students, yes. Anyone missed yesterday's class, you people have to cover that up. Okay. Let's go back. Now the next example, we are going to take this now. So what happens if I create more than one object? Class A, and then let me write here public static void main, public static void main. Okay. Now I will create here, okay, one variable int x is equal to 10. I'm going to create one object a1 is equal to new a. Now when I create an object's address is present in a1 and this variable x is loaded to that object. One object created, once x is loaded to that object. Again, if I create an object a2 is equal to new a, then the second object is created, and to this object now again your variable x is loaded and that address is in a2. Every time you are creating an object, the copy of non-static member becomes a part of that object. If I create 100 objects, 100 times that variable x will be loaded to those 100 objects one by one. Create object 1, variable x loaded. Create object 2, again variable x loaded into it. Object 3, variable x loaded. Object 4, variable x loaded. Object 5, variable x loaded. Object 6, again variable x loaded. Every time you create an object, every time we create object, non-static variable copy is loaded to that object. Did you understand this point? Yes. Every time we create object, non-static variable copy is loaded to that object. Non-static variable copy is loaded to that object. Now see the next one. The next one is the values that is present in this object and this object now are different. They are not same variable. We consider now this variable x to be different and this variable x to be different. This is how it is treated now. Content of every object, they are now different. A1 content and A2 content, they are not same. They are different. Now what do you mean by different? Suppose I go to object A1 and change the value 10 to 50. I change the value 10 to 50. Still you observe now this value will not change. They are different variables now. If I modify this to 100, then this will not change. Modifying variable value in one object has no impact on the variable present in another object. And changing value of the variable in object, this value will never change. This will remain 10 only. Now suppose I change this to 200. This is 50. Will it change? No. I'll change this value to 500. Will this change? No. Changing value in one object will not change the value in another object. Did you understand that now? Everyone clear with this part? Observe. Let's go back. Now, this is A1. What I will do now, inside A1, I am now storing X, which will print 10. Now, let's do one thing. I'll go to A1 dot X. I'll change to 20. I'm changing value in which object? A1. In A1, the value 10 is now changed to what? 20. You can print and see. It was 10. After changing, what is A1 printing? Observe. Value in A1 was 10. Then after changing it became. But now let's say I have another object. A2 is equal to new A. Now when you print A2, changing value in A1, is it changing the value of A2? Is it changing value of A2? A2 is 10 only. Though I change A1 value, A2 is not changing. Did you understand this part? Please tell me. Did you understand this part? Huh? Yes? People, what I'm trying to tell, changing the value of one object cannot impact another object's value. I'm changing the value in A1, that will not impact the value in what? A2. When I run that, see, this was A1, change the value of A1, but A2 value is not changing. Because every variable in the object is now treated as different variable. So copy of variable in these objects are different. That is, if you change the value of variable in one object, those changes cannot be seen in another object. Is this clear? So A1 is equal to new A 10, changing to 20. A1 dot X is now 20. If you now go to A2, you see again it is back to what? 10. So A2 value is not changing. Can I proceed further? Everyone clear with this part? No doubts? Okay, so let's do this now. I will now create another object. You can create here also. You can create anywhere. No problem. It's not that you will create in the beginning only. Now A3 value, will it change? No. A3 value will remain to be 10. A3 value remains to be what? This is A3, A2, A1, A1. Now let's do one thing. Let us now change the value of A2. A2 dot X is equal to 30. A2 dot X is equal to 30. Will A3 value change? Huh? No. But if I now write here A2, will it change? Will this value change? Will this change? No. It's like, see, you have book, you have pages. You scribble something in one page. Will that changes reflect in another page? No, every page is like an object there. Every page there is like an object, and every page is different. Every object is different. You modify one object, the changes cannot be seen in another object. Okay? They have no impact. Are you understanding now? Everybody got this? Okay. So good to go with the next part. The next part is, it is not mandatory to initialize a non-static variable. It is not mandatory to initialize non-static variable. Depending on data type, automatically default value will get stored in it. It is not mandatory to initialize non-static variable. What do you mean by that? See guys, here what value am I storing in it? Integer value. Integer value can be plus or minus. I can also store minus 10. But I cannot store a decimal value. Error. Because when this variable type is int, I can store only integer value. If you want to store a decimal value, I'll come to data types later. We will not include that in today's class. But some basic idea. If you want to store a decimal value, I will change that to double. Correct? So this data type defines what am I storing in X. If I now write here int, then this has to be an integer value. Correct? So what it says, if you do not initialize a non-static variable, initialize means if you do not store any value in X, if you do not store any value in X, then depending on the data type, it has a list of default value. So you can see here, if you now just go online, okay, and search for data types in Java. Now you notice there is byte, short, int. These many data types are there. For every data type, there is a default value. Okay, so we'll see data type with default values table. Correct? You see that now it will now give me a table. If I don't store any value in byte, it will automatically take 0. If I don't know what is int, byte, short and all. Hold on. That's not the agenda today. But if it is int, automatically what is it taking? If it is float, what is it taking? 0.0. Double 0.0. So what it says, if you don't store anything in it, I have to create an object though, because it is non-static. So I will now write a1.x. You see, if you don't store anything, what is it taking? That's a default value. If I now write float, you see automatically it's taking. Correct? If I now write here double, it's automatically taking. So what it says is, it is not mandatory to initialize non-static variable. It's not mandatory. Depending on data type, automatically default value will get stored in it. Depending on data type, automatically default value will get stored in it. Is this clear? Everyone? So int x, you're creating an object a1.x. It'll print 0. Did you understand this explanation? So will a non-static variable take default value? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So I'm writing here int. Am I storing any value in it? No. If I store 10, what value is it taking? 10. But if I don't store anything, what value it will take? Default value. What is default value for int? 0. What is it printing? 0. If I write float, what is the default value? There is a fixed default value in Java. For float, what is the default value? Okay, now clear? Continue further? Yes. The next thing, we are going to now start our journey with static variables. Let's start with that now. Okay, so far I discussed about non-static. Now we'll discuss about static. So firstly, We are going to write here main method. And I'm going to write here static int x is equal to 10. Don't create inside method. You see? Error. Statics, where static variable, where is it created? Inside class, outside method. Now in order to access this, I will use the class name. Option 1, I will use the class name. Option 2, you can also directly use the variable name. But when you're using the variable name, ensure on a method static is applied. If I directly use a variable name, ensure that method also has a static word. If I remove it, right, that should not be the case. Is clear everyone now? We'll come to that later. But for now, I'll talk about methods later. Let's not include that topic here. There are two ways to access static variable. What are the two ways? What are the two ways? Class name without class name. Working? Working. But some beginners will create object. This beginners will do. And then they will write a1.x and tell, sir, this is working. Of course, this will work. But if you carefully observe, I've got a warning message. Can you read the warning message? The static field a.x should be accessed in a, which means it's telling you're wrong. But I'm correcting your mistake. You should never create an object to access static, you're wrong. It's giving a warning. Though you're doing wrong, automatically Java will replace a1.x with capital A.x. This automatically happens. And hence you're getting the output. What are the ways to access static? Tell me. Two ways. Class name without class name. Third way, it's wrong, but it'll work. What have we done in third way? We are creating object, then we are writing a1.x. We are creating object and then we are writing a1.x. That's wrong. But Java will auto correct your mistake. Is this clear everyone now? Java will auto correct your mistake. So this is what is happening here. We should create static variables inside class, outside method with static keyword. To access the variable, we use the following option. Class name dot variable name that has some constraints. You cannot use this everywhere. I will speak about that in future classes. Objects address dot variable name. Wrong approach, but will work. There's a typo here, that's okay. Wrong approach, but it will work. Is this clear everyone? Yeah. So can you tell me, is this correct? Is this correct? Is this wrong? Will it work? Why is it working? Because this will automatically internally will get converted to. Did you understand? It is not mandatory to initialize static variable. Very important point. If I don't initialize static variable, again, depending on its data type, there is a default value getting stored. If I now write float, because the data type is float, automatically it is going to write 0.0. Depending on the data type, automatically it is storing a default value in it. Can you please read all these 4 points once? Carefully analyze all the 4 points. Beginners, first time people who are learning Java, right? And more dangerous people who have done half learning. You have to be more highly focused because people with half learning are more dangerous. Okay, everybody clear with all the points? Okay, I'll ask you one question. Can we change the value of static variable? Huh? Can I change? Now the value is 10. It's a static variable. Can I change the value of static variable? Please tell me. Huh? Yes, no. No. How many people know? Confidently. How many people know? What's your qualification? In what? Very good. Next. Who said no? Raise your, you said no. What's your qualification? Huh? MCA, computers background. Excellent. What's your background? Okay, no. We cannot change. Huh? BTech? CSE. Excellent. Yes. BTech CSE. Excellent. We cannot change the value. Congratulations. You're all wrong. So now tell me, what is the difference between BTech and mechanical? I asked a very simple question. Don't take me wrong. We did 4 years of engineering, so many programming languages we studied in college days. And we are telling static value cannot be changed. Who said we cannot change? See, I'm writing 20 and now I'm going to write here a dot x. Observe, it was 10. I changed to 20. It will print 20. That's not the meaning of static. Static, it means there is only one variable throughout the program. Non-static means per object one variable. If I create 5 objects, non-static variables are 5. If I create 100 objects, 100 object means there are non-static variable 100. Static means throughout your program, there is only one variable. Are you understanding now? That's the meaning of static. Static means one variable throughout the program. Is this clear, everyone? Yes, everyone? Any doubts, guys, so far? No doubts. Shall we continue further? Okay. Now, we are going to continue further. And can you please analyze this program and tell me why is it printing 0? Because a variable takes a default value. Yeah? Now, can you please, let's proceed further now. Now, before I proceed further, some basic idea of methods I will give you today. Then I'll take some 25-30 examples on methods alone. First, make your foundation strong in Java. Then advanced programming like Hibernate, Spring Boot will become easier. If Java you don't practice well, there you will find it tough. Okay? So now, what are methods? See, methods are like, yesterday I gave an example, class is like a outer cover of the book. And whenever you create a method, it is like adding a page to it. Now I'm going to create another method without even bothering about what is public, what is void. I don't know any of these things. I simply created one method. Now how to interpret this is, as a beginner, think like this is my book outer cover, and in that book now I have 2 pages. This is my page 1 and this one is my page 2. This is my page 1 and this one is my page 2. So ideally there are 2 pages, 1 and 2. This is always the first page of your program. And from the first page we can go to any other page. Got it? Now this page will run automatically. Let me show you. I'm writing here main and I'm writing here test. Let me run the program. You see the main method runs, so it prints main, but this is not running. This method will not run automatically. The method that runs automatically is your main method. Now this method will run only when you call it. But how to call it now? So firstly analyze, is this method having static word? Is there any static return here? No. Then automatically this is called as non-static. Now since it is non-static, Shivam, I cannot write a.test. It's giving me error. This is non-static, so you cannot access with class name. I will write create an object and then I will call this a1.test. Is this clear, everyone? Now see, main method, object created, Now you're calling test method, it will run this as well. So when the main method runs, main method is calling test method. Did I get both the outputs? Remove this. Will it work? So analyze what method it is, then accordingly call it as per your requirement in your project. Sir, let's add static. Now when I add static, it belongs to what? Class. So should I create object? No. How will I call that? Is it giving error? Did you understand the simple concept? Yes, if I don't write this, will test method run? Only method that runs automatically is main. The test method, if I now run, save it and run, see? So if you don't call your test method, it will not run, it will not execute. What am I seeing here? Output. If I don't call, this will not run. But how to call depends on the method. Again, a method can be static or non-static. Is this part clear, students? Yes. So what is the output of this program? Huh? Will test method run? Yes. Calling from main. What will it print? 100. What is the output of this program? Main method runs first. A dot test we are calling. It will again print what? 100. Did you understand? Everyone? But if I remove this line, will it print 100? If I remove this line, will it print 100? So remember, the method that you're calling will help us to build a business flow. Mobile number received. Call a method to send OTP to that number. Right? Mobile number received. Send an OTP, SMS to that number. Right? So I will develop one method which takes a number, generates an OTP. I can create a flow between your programs. From one part to another part, what calling you want to do, it depends on method creations. We'll discuss more about methods later in detailed manner. Now, why did I cover that? Because if you don't know the concept of methods, I'll not be able to teach you types of variables. Right? So we are going to now look at types of variables in Java. In order to learn that, this basic concept I had to cover. So we have types of variables. We have local variable. Then we have local variable. Then we have instance variable, which we already saw. Then we have static variable. And then we have reference variable. Is this clear? How many types of variables we have? Local, instance, static, reference. These are the types in Java. I'm going to start with local variable first. Okay? I'm going to start with local variables first. Good to go? Everyone able to follow? Stay focused. Hardly 1 hour of class. If you're not keeping your focus to the point and listening to me, you cannot be a developer. If you fully take out all disturbances from your mind and just focus on what I'm talking, definitely your learning will become excellent. Got it? So no other thought should come to mind. Fine? Just keep listening to every word that I'm telling. So tell me one thing. Few minutes back, I discussed if you create a variable here, what variable is this? Static or non-static? Static. Who said static? Where is static keyword applied here? To make it static, what I have to apply? I have not applied it. So what kind of variable is this? Non-static. Non-static belongs to what? Object. Static belongs to what? Class. That's it. Stick on to this basic rule. Okay? Now, if I take this variable and I move it inside method, then this becomes local variables are always created inside a method. Inside a method or a constructor, but we'll not use that definition now. I'll just say inside a method to begin with. Where is it created? Inside method. Now where is it created? So is it local? No, this is non-static. But moment I move it inside, this becomes local. Now what is the meaning of local? The meaning of local is this variable that you created, this variable that you created is going to be accessible only within method. It's like I speak in Kannada, I can speak in Karnataka. You speak in Marathi, you can speak in Maharashtra. Right? You speak in Tamil, you can speak in Tamil Nadu. But you cannot, those are all languages local to a state. Can I go outside the state and speak in Kannada? Can I go to Maharashtra and speak in Kannada? Or can I come to Karnataka and speak in Marathi? People will not understand. It has a restricted scope, restricted visibility, restricted access. Correct? So when I now write here int x is equal to 10, it is restricted to be used only within this opening and closing flower brackets. It is restricted to be used only between opening and closing flower brackets. Suppose I create another method, public void. I create another method, public void test. These are all keywords we don't know. But now see, I'm creating here in main. It is restricted to be used in main, meaning you don't require object to use. You don't require class name. Directly you will access local variable. I'm using in main. Do you see any error? No error. But now let's take this statement and move it to test. What do you see? Error. Am I able to use that in test? No, sir. You created in main. It is restricted to be used in what? Main. It's like citizenship. Other way. Indian citizens, you have more benefits in India. US citizens, there are benefits in US. Yes or no? Correct. You cannot get those benefits of US in India or Indian citizens. What benefits have? The NRIs cannot get that. So we have restricted benefits. So when I now create a variable inside a method, it is restricted to be used. Used means line number 7 where I'm using it in the same method. Outside method, what do you see? Did you understand point number 1? Everyone, make the foundation strong. Directly you cannot start working on projects. Okay? Until and unless Java writing skills only you cannot build. How will you use Java in Spring Boot and Hibernate? Because their full Java programming only I'll do in Hibernate Spring Boot. But to learn that, firstly you should know how to understand Java code and the concepts of it. Correct, no? Everyone? Now let's delete this. Is my program correct? Tell me why is it correct? Local variable created, usage, same method. Run and see, working. Observe. Point number 1. Read this loudly. Loudly. Local variables should be created inside method. We should use local variables within created method only. Without, now let's come to the next point. First program is clear. It'll print 10. Let's look at the next program. I'll take this thing and let me try to use it in public void test. I'm getting error. Yes. Or there's no point now calling this method. If there's an error in program, you can't even run that. See? Error exists in the required project. Even if I run, see? So there's no point running a program with error. So I'm not calling the method. When error is there, even if I call this method, which is non-static, method is non-static, no. This method is non-static, no, I'm calling it. Is this error gone? There is no point. I'm leaving the program incomplete since there is an error. Did you understand? Everyone, tell me once again why error? Because the place in which variable local is created, use in same method, not outside method. Good. Second point. If I don't initialize, what will happen? Non-static variable, if I don't initialize, what will happen? Default value. Static variable, if I don't initialize, what will happen? Default value. Local variable, if I don't initialize, what will happen? Error. It will give error. You cannot use your local variable without initializing it, meaning you have to store some value. Error gone, remove error, store some value, error gone, remove error, store some value, error gone, remove error. You have to store some value before using. Initialization a must for local variable, but static non-static it is not a must. Okay, you don't initialize static non-static default value. Local variables does not have default value concept. Read this line loudly. Did you understand? Come down a bit here. Can you tell me why there is an error in this program? Line number 301 error. You're using outside the restricted scope. Example 3. Can you tell me example 3? Okay, let's try to build example 3 now. Okay, so I will build one method, public void test. Let's write here int x is equal to 10. Let me write here x. Okay, now how do I call this method? Which method will run first, test or main? Very good, main method will run first. So from main I have to call test now, because the method which is automatically running, from there you can initiate further calls. Common sense, no? Yes or no? So now how do I call this method? Why did you decide to create object? Very good, because it is non-static. Very good. So I have to create an object. You have to take a call like this now. When you're writing Java code, when to create object, when to not. Is this clear? Printing. If I remove this line, will it print any output? Will test method run? No, it will not run. Is this part clear? All of you, is this part clear? Please tell me. Analyze this program now. Analyze. What output will it print here? 10. What output will it print? From where am I calling test method? Very good, very good. Now, next program. Can you tell me why there is an error? Analyze. At 330 line number, there is an error. Can you tell me why error? Where have I created X? Test method. It is restricted to be used in which method? If I use this X outside the restricted area, what will I get? Error. Did you understand? Everyone able to follow me now? Good. Look at that now. Can you tell me why this program throws an error? Why there is an error at this line? Understand the rule of local variable. Without initialization, if you use error. Okay, right. I hope everyone is getting the clarity slowly, slowly, slowly. And people, if they have any doubts, okay, you will be asking me the same. Is this clear, everyone? Now you will be asking me the same. Is this clear? Yeah. Okay. So I'm putting the recordings on my YouTube channel as of now. Okay, I'm putting that on my YouTube channel. Fine. So I'll be sharing that link with you people soon. Is this clear, everyone? Excellent. Now, the next thing. We have a concept of static variable, but if you notice, the speed at which the lectures are being covered are going at a very rapid speed, but at the same time, you're very slow. Almost 350 lines I have covered, right, with zero writing. Yes or no? Agreed or not? Now, if I make you to write this 350 lines, my 1 hour is gone. Correct? My 1 hour is definitely gone. And your focus is diluted. You're focusing half on writing, half on learning. But now the learning is done, you can go back home. And what you can do now, you can take this link, again watch the video, whatever soft copy of notes are there, you will prepare on that. Got it? So guys, this month is a bit of holiday month, right? So bit of troubles will be there, but I'll cover up with the special classes. That's my plan. So Thursday and Friday, because of, you know, the festival, I'll be giving you holiday, but I'll give you assignments. So you have to cover one video assignment for tomorrow. Tomorrow sharp 12:45. I will drop one video assignment in your group. Okay, what time I will drop? 12:45 sharp. I will drop one video assignment. You will, as usual, complete that video assignment, thinking there's a live class going on. Is this clear? And Friday again 12:45. One link I will share as a video assignment. You will again watch and prepare the notes. Then by Monday onwards, we should not have any disturbances. Then we can continuously go with the class. And again, I'll take on Saturday also coming week. Saturday's class, probably I'll take for 2 hours for the day that I've missed. I'll take the class for 2 hours on Saturday. Is this clear? I'll take 1 hour of class. I'll give you solid 15 minutes of break. Then again 1 hour of class. I'll take 2 hours special class to compensate this Thursday and Friday class of yours. Is this clear? Everyone? Yeah? So that's how we will be proceeding further. Okay? Yesterday's lecture recordings, was that beneficial? Huh? Yes sir. But मुझे नहीं मजा आया. मुझे नहीं मजा. आपने लिखा ही नहीं कुछ भी. I said I will be more motivated to see when your learning is really happening. You drop a message in your video chat, yes or no? Agreed or not? People are not serious. Okay? So that will help me to understand how many people are liking this approach of training, because I'm giving complete spoon feeding. अब जब मैं मंडे आऊंगा मजा आना चाहिए मुझे. When I again go back and check my video on YouTube, what is the reactions of my students? Right? Recordings are really good for you. यहाँ नहीं लिखना है. यहाँ मत लिखो. जहां लिखना है वहां लिखो. I'm being transparent. Lecture did not understand, did not understand. Understood, understood. Yes or no? But you have to do that. Is this clear? Everyone? So we'll catch up on Monday. But tomorrow 12:45 sharp, I will share an assignment link. Again, day after tomorrow sharp 12:45 a link. Already we have 25 admissions done for your batch as of today. Another 125. I will be keeping the positions open, and then we will close the batch admissions. Fine, which I have mentioned that very clearly, because many are also taking recorded classes, which I know very well. They are working in some companies, some different jobs, and they want to get into Java. Got it? Institute will be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You will find some marketing agents near the building, standing at the entrance, doing some marketing. Right? Ignore and keep proceeding further. Is this clear? There will be all agents doing marketing. So, one who is serious, you should not let anyone disturb you. Is this clear? Many people will do marketing telling, I'm Pankaj Sir Academy student, and they will be standing there. Every batch this happens. This is not new for me for the last 18 years. But you stay focused, keep learning, and whatever work I give you, that has to be completed. Thank you guys. Bye. Take care. See you again in the next class. That's on Monday. Tomorrow I'll give you assignment. Clear, no? I'll be sharing one assignment link tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, one assignment link. You will keep studying. Your studies will not stop. Okay?